Well, shoot. Hey.
What did you do?
That was quick.
I tried to get queue up the next thing and it killed our intro. So let's go back. Sorry about that, everybody. Just learned something. Oh, well. It's going to be one of those nights.
Isn't it always?
You mean I shaved my legs for this?
Yep. Hey everybody, Lewis is on assignment tonight. I was trying to cue something up right before that to fill in the space, but we found out we can't change brands midstream of a video playing. So that's what happened to the beginning. Skunk, are you okay?
No, not really. Just move on.
All right. Looks like Heather's out by the fire tonight.
And it's a nice little fire.
Yes.
With a nice little puppy.
Yeah.
I might start doing that. Let one of y'all start the show for me. Let me sit out by the fire. But yeah, we have no stupid news tonight. Oh, look at that. William Joseph Roberts. Hey. If you would like to jump into the show, I'm fixing to send you a private message. Just let me know. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me know if you'd like to jump into the show. I'll send you a link, and you can jump in with us. So we can have all our people up. Just reply in if you want to join the show. We'd like to have you.
I'd like to find out how his book is doing. It got up to, as far as I know, number 13 on the first release day.
Wow, that is good.
Yes.
Where at?
Amazon, as far as I know.
I can't hold my phone and do it at the same time.
So what's going on, guys?
I was really productive today. I got through 2 lectures and did my part of my toy project for school.
Toy project.
Toy project. We were assigned an age group, and we have to do a project on a toy that is meant for that age group. We have to go through the different growth and development theories and how that toy fits into that growth and development age group. And yeah, all of that stuff for my pediatrics class.
Now,
So
do you have to support that with an argument as if it were like a mini thesis or something?
we just have to present the toy and how that age group, it's either appropriate or inappropriate for it.
I see.
And we chose Legos for 6 to 12-year-olds.
Well, with the Legos, it could go a little bit higher.
Yeah, you can use Legos like until you die.
I know some grandfathers that are playing with Legos. So
I want the Apollo rocket Lego set.
the Saturn V?
Yes, and it's only
Ooh.
$100.
Only.
Wait until I be making that nursing money.
Really?
Yeah, I just sent William a link, so he should be joining us very soon. Who else have we got? I got 3 people showing up in the chat room. Who else is here with us? Say hi.
I don't have any chat room turned on. I guess I could, but
It's one of the downsides to being on my phone. Like, I like it. I can sit out here.
Yeah.
I've obviously got a decent internet connection. And it's off of my cellular service, not Wi-Fi.
It's actually better. I didn't say that.
I don't get comments. I can't see anything. But you guys.
Oh, you came in?
That's why you need a laptop as well as your phone.
Oh, so you came in through the link through the chat messenger? Yep. Okay.
She came in through the bathroom window, protected by a silver spoon.
Yeah, I just clicked it, opened it up in Safari. Keyed
nobody
in my name,
remembers the
allowed
Beatles.
access.
The who?
I remember them too. All 2 of them that are left.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, he just plugged our show, so we're seeing what's going there. Does this show encourage drinking?
Not publicly.
Does this answer your question?
I don't know. Starting out, yes. By the time we're done, no.
Let's just say we're not positive examples.
Hey, guy, how are you doing? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, welcome to the show.
I'm still whoring. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. I'll pull you down. All right. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Oh, we're still on the after show logo.
I pulled that off.
Will it put itself back?
I noticed that.
There
we go.
My assistant's for that view. I have to use that one.
Yeah.
Or else it clashes with the background.
Yeah. But, hey, it's one of those crazy nights. That's usually what we go through.
Hey, it's Saturday.
Hey,
what
it's Saturday.
We gonna do?
Yeah, I went shopping for Thanksgiving stuff today.
Oh. Did you score?
Oh, yeah. But only thing I couldn't find was squash.
Yeah. We did a click list from one of the local grocery stores that offers that sort of thing. And they were almost entirely out of vegetables. And some of the ones that they did actually have in stock, we did not use that much of. and had to go and buy some higher quality at a different store.
Ingles has sweet potatoes on sale for 38 cents a pound.
Ooh, that's a
Ooh.
good price.
How big are they?
Sweet potato size.
Yeah, really.
The Walmart up here sells sweet potatoes that can weigh 1+ pounds. That's why I was asking, because I was like, that's a sweet potato for me.
Oh yeah.
I have to take them and bake them and cut them in half and put half of them in Tupperware to reheat later.
Yeah, really.
All right, sir. Are you ready to come in? He just gave me a finger, so I guess that's not ready yet. Okay.
Depends on which finger.
It's
No, he gave me the pointer finger, so I guess we're
Okay.
still good.
Wait one.
Oh, but yeah. I mean, there is nothing like a baked sweet potato with butter and brown sugar.
Oh yeah.
I
I'm
found a recipe.
sacrilegious. I eat mine
No, it's
plain.
not. No, it's not.
No. I'm saying I am. I just eat mine plain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, plain they're good, yeah, but yeah, to kick that sucker up a notch, put some
Oh
butter.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to dress them up a little.
Yeah.
I found a recipe for cinnamon maple butter.
All right. Yeah. We just got the thumbs up, so we're going to bring him in. And since he's a special guest, we're going to throw him.
Oh, the 3 questions.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, the famous 3 questions. There we go. And I ask you the famous 3 questions right up front. You can answer them in any order.
Okay.
But here it is. It's who are you? What do you do? And how the hell did you get suckered into this show?
Let's see. I am William Joseph Roberts. I am, well, F-15 aircraft mechanic, designer, drafter, design engineer, and now author. And you guys were like crazy enough to actually let me in here.
Well, hey, we love new people.
Did you say F-15 mechanic?
Yeah. I turned wrenches on F-15s for 10 years.
That's one of my favorite planes.
Let's see. Stationed Seymour Johnson, Kadena, and Okinawa, and then down at Tyndall. A couple of desert trips under my belt. Yeah, gingers do not belong in the desert. And go figure, I got stuck on day shift every freaking time. You'd think they'd put me on night shift, but no. So I was a lobster for months.
You need your SPF 3000 sunblock.
Does not work.
Basically, it's just mayonnaise.
Yeah, but it didn't work. I used the highest stuff and I still burned. So you just deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
I used to be a tractor jockey, but I'm rather darker complexioned than a ginger would be. So
yeah.
Well, what was it? You were asking earlier about how the book was going.
Yes, indeed.
The book he is talking about is Wildcat: Foreclosure of a Dream. It's book number 12 in the Fallen World universe. The basic gist is good old boys in southern West Virginia trying to survive after the bombs fall. And the setting is about 3 years after everything goes to hell. And the main character, Leander, finds out that the Brotherhood, who was a biker gang that just after the fall had just kind of went through and they raided. They took what they wanted, which included his wife and his kid. Well, he finds out that they're back. So it's basically the adventure quest of him trying to find his family. I'm not going to spoil any of it and let you know anything that's going on, so you're just going to have to read it.
You
That's
forget.
a way to peddle a book.
I know how you write, so I know it's amazing.
Did you read it yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay, I thought I'd sent it to you before for a beta read, but I couldn't remember.
You may have, but I haven't had time to get to anything. I know I've got another of the books from the Three Ravens that I need to read before it goes live so I can do a review. But I have just not had time.
Oh, life gets busy, man. I totally understand.
Oh yeah.
Now,
I
as
pulled a 12-hour shift today, so
And William, Jenny Posthumus said, "Hey, William Joseph Roberts."
hey, I just pulled up the chat too so I could see it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Jenny Posthumous, yeah.
As for how it's going, released yesterday, it made it up to number 13 on the new release list. It's hanging at 14. It's slowly climbing. We're up to like 13 reviews in place right now. Got some reviews and ratings on Goodreads now. So it's been interesting. Now, I also posted into my main page and my author business page thing. And my first post that I put in there about, hey, it's live and all this and that. Well, the Facebook thing wouldn't let me boost it because I had crooked politicians listed in there, so they didn't want me to do it because you could be giving false information about voting. What? Piss off! So I made another
It's
post,
done.
and it's I'm finding an interesting difference here between the post that I did, and I whore all over the net. I mean, I'm putting things in 24, 25 different places when I do my posts, and that includes all these Facebook groups. Well, the first one I got over 2,200 views right now. The second one that I actually boosted, I'm setting at 2,500. So it's looking like a Facebook post that is boosted, that you've paid for advertising, does help. So I'm learning on this one. The more people that look, the more people that get it, the better. And apparently from some of the comments I've been getting, I've sold the series twice now. They fell in love with my standalone enough that they're going back and they're getting the rest of the series. So that's something cool.
All right.
That is good.
And well, Dan, you're going to get an invitation. Oh wait, by the way, Dan is in this one. He got a little cameo. I wrote him in. You're going to get an invitation later for something
Hopefully
else.
I die well.
Oh no, you don't die.
Spoilers.
Hey. Stop.
Does anyone remember the game Starflight from back in the 80s?
Not
Nope.
ringing a bell on my
80s was probably.
Well, okay.
No, I think my biggest gaming was in the 70s.
Okay, Starflight was the first open sandbox space opera video game. I mean, you could play it continuously. If you didn't complete the mission, well, you could still keep playing. You just couldn't go back to Starport or anything. Well, I contacted the IP holder and the creator, and Three Ravens Publishing now has a exclusive license with them to create content in the Starflight universe. So we're going to be producing the first anthology and releasing at LibertyCon. I've already contracted Robert Silverberg for one of his stories. It's to get to play in a game that influenced so much of my writing and my love of adventure quest style novels. It's something awesome,
That's why you asked me if I could adapt that piece of music.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry that I couldn't.
It's okay, man. Use the resources at hand, So I always check with people that I know first.
All right. I'm pulling up your Amazon page to put on here.
Oh, cool.
We're going to run it as a scroll across the bottom. Just as soon as I can remember how to do the scrolls across the bottom. I mean, if anybody can screw up a show, it's me.
Are you sure your men are on the right pills?
Perhaps you should execute his trainer.
Somebody else knows the
Dear
movie.
God.
Been
Now-
a while, huh?
Damn it. Now I got the soundtrack running in my freaking head.
That's
At
not a
least
problem. It's a good soundtrack.
Oh, I know. It's
decent
a
soundtrack.
beautiful soundtrack. I love the movie. I can only get to watch it every so often, though, because that's one of those that I got to watch in the garage a lot of times.
Yeah, that's like me and Buckaroo Banzai. My wife will not sit through that with me.
Oh, no. Ice Pirates and Caveman.
Mm. Oh, and what was the other one that I just dearly love? She just cannot stand.
Oh, that is way too long. That is way too long.
I was gonna say, put it in the chat
Yeah.
and then throw it on stupid.
Yeah. All right. Here, John. You're faster at throwing it to stupid.
Don't. I'm having computer problems. Don't throw it at me.
You're having.
There's the chat. Oh,
Okay.
it takes up my whole screen.
Okay. All right. Y'all keep talking. I'll keep working.
Ah, well, so I'm gonna be invited into this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna need some groundwork since I don't know the game.
Well, that's okay. We got the Bible and all that.
That I will study religiously.
What was it? Yeah, just remind me because my brain has been so kerfuffled lately from everything else. I've been busy.
Oh,
but it's a good busy. Now, other than that, we've got a load of things that's come out this year on Three Ravens, including Abducted, that the old man here has put out, and that I don't. That is one of the best abduction stories I've read in a long while. It took a weird turn there. It's like, wait, what? We're going this way now. All right, and it still turned out great.
It is kind of atypical, and nobody got probed.
No, I was waiting for that one. We just picked up Jenny Posthumous and republished 2 of her novels that were recently delisted. Glad to have her on board because she's got a lot of good stories. And, honestly, in my opinion, the market is flooded entirely too much with mill sci-fi. There's too many publishers out there, and that's their mainstay. They're going after it. They're not publishing other stuff. I mean, Tor, their big thing is fantasy. But you don't see a lot of adventure and action stories anymore, not like you used to. And that's the stuff that I miss. I used to love the old pulp action things that, the stories that you'd find in Weird Tales and all. And it's hard to find those anymore, and they don't get published because everybody's after straight up urban fiction or paranormal romance kind of stuff, or they're mill sci-fi. So one thing that we're doing is bringing other things to the market instead of just the standard typical crap.
Cool. Oh. So you will have some of these books at Liberty.
Oh yeah,
Autographing.
absolutely.
All right. I'll tell you something that I do is I'll grab a couple books from an author, one for me, and then I have another one that I have them sign and say, please return to this little library, and put it in a little library here in my neighborhood. The little box.
That's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, really.
And I'll check it every now and then. A book will be gone. Then I come back a little while later and it's back in there.
That's cool.
So, maybe I'm. So if you start noticing sales from Lupton City, hey, I help.
Well, see, I won't be able to see any of that because that's all on Chris Kennedy's side.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're working with Chris Kennedy?
Yeah, the Fallen World is on Chris Kennedy Publishing.
Okay.
The Christopher Woods is the one that started that one.
Okay.
That's his baby. If you've ever played Fallout, then you're going to love this series. When I first started listening to the audio on the first book, Chris had actually given me a copy of the first one, signed it and everything. We were sitting there bullshitting at a LibertyCon Christmas party, 2 years ago, I guess now?
Would have to be.
Yeah. And we're just sitting there bullshitting and everything, and it ended up going on the shelf, and just life was busy. And then the audio came out. Sweet. Okay, snag that. I work in engineering, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And I hadn't even made it halfway through chapter 1 when I started sending in messages like, dude, how much Fallout have you played? Because we'd been playing Fallout 4, and me and the kid, they'd watch me play, and they'd help me try to figure out the little puzzles and mystery things that you'd find through the game. And it was like we were going through the streets of Boston, and there's raiders on every corner, and they're taking over these skyscrapers and stuff, just like in the game. And he said, "Yeah, I've played about 1,000 hours, maybe." Like, well, okay, that makes sense. It looks like it. I know Tiffany, was it Tiffany Reynolds, the editor for this one. She is a Fallout fan. She loves Fallout 76. She thought I had wrote a Fallout fanfic because she thought that I was using the game as a reference because I described it so well. It's like, no, I grew up there. Every one of these places I've been to. Well, except the Greenbrier. I haven't been down in that or the bunker. But I grew up in southern West Virginia. And I try to sit back and imagine that's one thing that I really like about post-apocalyptic, trying to sit back and imagine the what ifs that could happen, what tangents people would take. The coal fields of southern West Virginia, they're going to turn back into what it was 100 years ago. The good old boys are going to take over. The women ain't going to have any kind of rights. They just do as they're told and shut the hell up. And that's the way I set things up in there. Counties and I got the Council of Counties and Clans. So all the families and all the counties are ruling the different areas, and they've all basically minted their own script, just like the old coal company script. And I took a lot from the coal fields and set that up. A lot of history.
Understand that. My mom grew up in a coal mining town in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
and see,
I've got years of family stuff in my head about that.
I based the system on commodities that wouldn't go bad. And every county has their own thing going on, so it'd be furs or it'd be moonshine or something that is a tangible item that they had in stockpile, and it is their backing. But it was per county or per family. I put a lot of history in there. A lot of the little things that people just don't know, like the term redneck. No one realizes where that term came from. And that was from the miners that were marching on Logan County Courthouse because they wanted the union there, but the coal companies didn't want the union.
The red scarves.
They wore a red bandana to mark themselves of who they were. That is the one and only time that the United States government, the military, was called up. They were dropping bomblets by hand out the side of the biplane. They had machine gun nests set up on Blair Mountain, and if you look up the Battle of Blair Mountain, this is true history. The hillbillies of West Virginia and the coal miners went to war against the United States military, and they won. And they went on to Logan County Courthouse, and shortly thereafter, the unions were brought in, and things got better because it was horrible working conditions. They got paid shit. You moved into a coal company town. Well, you lived in a coal company house. You got paid in coal company script. You could spend it only at the coal company store. I mean, they charged you for water, they charged you for power, they charged you rent. So by the end of it, you end up owing them. And it was a horrible situation. And that was one of the things that the unions helped to change. You know, unions had their place. They really did.
Still do.
Yep. It depends on the situation. There's some stuff that I've been involved in around here that just like, there's no need for a union there anymore. You're just causing trouble. You know, it's just like there's actually a union for drafters. It's like, okay, just do your job. I mean, they end up getting paid less than what I've been getting paid.
Hey, draw stuff. Watch your line quality.
Yeah. But I laced in as much history and things like that into it because it's just not known. You know, the Hatfields and McCoys. I put stuff in there about them because it's part of the culture there. You know, I even have them visit Devil Lance's grave, and I've been up to that graveside. Beautiful statue. It used to hold Devil Lance's gun in the hands. It got a nice little statue right there at his grave, but it was stolen at some point back in the past. I've been up there twice. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, you get out. I went in the military and people thought it was just, you know, a bunch of stupid hillbillies, a bunch of hicks, you know, you inbreeders, and you don't realize all the stuff that happened back here, you know, like the Logan Wildcats, which is what the novel is named after. They were the militia group in the area. They took care of Logan County, Mingo County, and Wayne County. They went over into Kentucky a little bit, over into to Pike County. But they were the ones that protected the area. Devil Lance Hatfield, he was the leader of the Wildcats. But when Union soldiers come in, started raping, pillaging, you know, the standard of wartime at that point, they're the ones that stopped it. They're the ones that ran them out to protect the families and protect all the people that couldn't protect themselves. So I brought some of that history into it. More than a few friends have been included in it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it without giving away too much.
Well, apparently
It's definitely a fun adventure. Let's see.
Apparently, there were some Hatfields that got involved with in the Hollifield family. So there is a crossover in there. It's very faint and very far back, but
let's see.
Oh, and talk about adding people into books. Hang around me long enough, I will get the most miserable death you can ever write.
oh, I gave you a heroic one. The book never got published, but
Yeah. But I'm
not my
telling
fault.
him, that was probably why they went, you made him a hero?
Hey, I had put
Sean McCoon says hello, if you know who that is.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I know him. Oh, and Bo's here. Cool beans.
Yep.
Now, who's the fellow that Bane Books always kills off?
Oh crap. I don't remember the name right off. He's been killed off like hundreds of times at this point, I think.
Yeah, Joe something. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name.
I actually turned that on its head. Not only did I let him live, I made him a hero and let him get the girl. And now I kind of see why the book never it never got published because I write too slow. I couldn't finish the damn thing.
All right, where is it? All right, here you go. Here's the review I got up on Goodreads. So, because this one has blown me away. I'm just
Buckley.
Joseph Buckley.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see. All right. I must admit, this one was a bit of a hard sell for me. Not that the book is bad, quite the contrary, actually, but I made the mistake of having expectations. And the Fallen World novels, for all the post-apocalyptic setting, have a certain lightness and tone, which was definitely not there in Wildcat. To put it simply, the book is gritty and pulls no punches. The hero is actually a normal human being, neither agent or specialist, just a man who is able to handle a bit of evil. At the beginning, you think you were in Wild West in the late 1870s or something. Leander Calloway Toller, Leander Calloway Toller is actually my mother's father. I never got to meet the man, but it was such an odd name. Figured, why not? Let's throw a Toller in someplace. Our hero is what passes for law in a small neighborhood clinging to civilization after the fall. He's clinging to the hope to be reunited with his wife and son, which are taken away from him shortly after the fall by an evil cult. So at some point, having found evidence that the cult is moving closer, he gathers a small posse and goes to investigate. And only in the last third of the novel do we get to meet the typical Fallen World elements. I really had a blast and enjoyed the characterization, be it of the MC or of his associates or the villains, to be fair. But be warned, this one is quite gritty and pulls no punches. I can't wait to read more about Leander. Just need to remember not to call him son. I didn't think it was so gritty. Now there are parts in the story that I can't go back and read, and I say that because now I understand what a method actor goes through. What's his face that from A Knight's Tale, and he played the Joker.
Jared Leto.
No.
Heath Ledger.
No, Heath Ledger.
Okay.
You know,
I know
everybody.
Jared Leto did it too.
No. Everybody says that that's one reason that Heath Ledger died was because he got too far into character. He got himself all wrapped up. I put myself into Leander's place. The man has seen loss. He has seen pain. And some of those scenes, I sat there and bawled my eyes out, typing out those scenes. And going back and reading through them again to do the edits, it was hard. So I can understand why method actors have a lot of issues. If you're not into reliving pain, don't write those kind of scenes because it's going to hurt. If you feel that kind of stuff.
Well, that actually probably makes it a better book.
I hope so. And if it speaks to someone out there, then good. That's something that can help. And most of us that are Gen X, okay, we were raised to shut up, suck it up, and move on. Nobody was ever taught to deal with stuff, especially the military. PTSD is a real thing. But you never talk about it. You don't go to the shrinks because that's going to put a black mark on you. You're going to get booted on a psych eval. But people need to talk. People need to get the stuff out. Because if you don't, you turn into Heath Ledger. Or, Kurt Cobain or whatever. Shit can go bad. And I've lost buddies because of it. So now that I wanted my character to be able to talk about it, I guess, when I was writing it and making his pain shown. Because I've got a lot of reflection bits in there where he's going through these issues.
So this is not a book that somebody who has military PTSD should read.
No, well, yeah, actually, yeah. They should.
Okay.
Because
Because your book, the way you're describing it and stuff, it sounds so good. I'm like, okay, I need to go buy this book when I get money.
If I wrote it well enough, then that Joe that hasn't gotten help, maybe it'll get that inkling idea into the back of his head. Maybe I need to go talk to somebody. That kind of little thing. In my 3 trips to the desert, the worst we had to deal with was some snipers sitting over there in Doha popping shots at us on the fly line, and shoulder mounted rockets. They were locking on the aircraft taking off, and as soon as they broke ground, chaff and flare getting tossed and the burning holes in the concrete on the runway. But I never saw no front lines anything. But I know I've got issues. I get into a noisy, crowded room. I'm backing up to a corner someplace so I can see everything. And I don't know if it's from the military or before. Hell, I got chased out of the hills so many times for things that should have killed me. It's crazy. I've been chased by black bears and panthers and bobcats. That's not fun. You can't outrun them. I'm living proof that you can outrun them.
And that girl with the shotgun from the other book.
Oh God.
Insider information, folks.
Well, yeah, I forgot about that. That's something else. The JTF series, Three Ravens is picking that up and bringing it over from Canon Publishing.
Oh, wow.
So I've got 5 manuscripts that I've got to go through and get prepped up. We've already got some cover art ready, and that'll be coming up next year.
Three Ravens, is that yours, or is it?
Yeah, that
partially.
There's 4 of us now, actually. Yeah. But R.J. Layden, Benjamin Tyler Smith, and myself, and then my wife, we're all part of Three Ravens Publishing. It started out as our own little thing to publish our stuff, but we figured, what the hell? Why not help others take a step up? And I got my little writing group called the Corner Scribblers, and Dan is actually our guest author for our 4th quarter flash collection called Take Me to Your Reader. We've been producing stuff on there.
That was fun. He asked me for a flash fiction story and writer's advice, or advice to writers. And it didn't take more than, I'd say, 2 days before I made time to do it. So I actually believe my advice to writers is longer than the 1,000-word story for the flash fiction. But hey,
I really need to sit down and start pounding keys.
Yes, you do. You've got some excellent ideas. You just want to talk somebody else into writing them for you, and you'll never
I've seen your stories that you tell on Facebook. You have a way of writing. I'm just like, wow, he really told that story in text form so well. I feel like I was there.
And Joe,
well, usually you are sitting there watching it with me.
Farm it out to somebody, you're not going to be happy with the result. You can always say exactly what is in your mind, but somebody else trying to crawl inside your skull and write like you ain't going to happen.
It doesn't have to be 100% grammatically correct. And that's what's awesome is you can write a story from your point of view, the way that you speak.
Yeah. Well, see, I've sat and done some of those classes, the little online classes and all that. And they say, first thing to do is never write anything first person.
That's all I ever write.
There's nothing wrong with it. Some of the best stories I've ever listened to or read were first person.
Yeah.
In fact, most of them are.
I know people that won't read my stuff because it's first person, and I'm going, you snob.
Well, that's the only way I can do it. But my main problem is dialogue. I I cannot write dialogue.
It
I
shouldn't
can
be. You know how people talk to each other.
it it sounds forced.
Don't overthink it. Put it to paper and then you hand it to somebody to read and give you notes on it.
And everybody
Then you
goes,
worry about it.
yeah.
You
They
make
all
your
tell me it's
corrections,
forced. It's forced. It sounds forced. Sounds like something a
write a
fourth
mock
grader would write.
chapter, and
Can
send it to
I
Dan.
interject something here to not
Yeah,
be a complete whatever. Anyway,
please, please.
Joe,
You,
who are you sending your writing samples to?
different people.
Are they authors?
Yes.
That's your problem.
You need to send it to readers.
That's who your audience is.
Send
That's
for
who's going to buy
you
it.
send to you send to authors for proofreading, not for suggestions on how to do your story. You send those to people who are actually going to read the books.
Yeah, Jeannie says, write it like you would say it, just add quotes. And I do that. But it's horrible. All right. But we'll
Look,
work on it.
Joe, let me put it to you
Yeah.
this way. Let me put it to you this way, okay? If you look at Hollywood movies, right?
Yeah.
When they make a movie, it's for the other people that make movies. Oscar bait films, right? Yeah, sure. They win the Academy Award and they got a butt ton of awesome actors in them. And maybe it's a good movie, right? Maybe
It's
it's
a
a good
big
movie.
maybe.
Yeah.
But for the most part, usually they're films that are just that. They're Oscar bait.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a good movie. They put $8 billion, but $20 billion behind it just to make sure that it got an Academy Award nomination, not even a win, just that it gets the nomination. And then that's when they do the for your consideration thing and throw another $20 billion at it just to win the stupid golden trophy.
Yeah.
Because that's what they all want out there, are trophies.
Yeah.
Joe, do not deflect me right now. I'm trying to make a point, please.
Okay.
I'm in a
Well,
mood already, and
yeah.
you're kind of ruining it.
Our guest is back, so I was going to bring him back up.
Oh, let him
I
finish
forget
up.
what I
It's
was
all good.
saying.
Okay.
No. I'm done. I'm done. Do whatever. I know he's back. I was trying to finish my damn point, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, finish it up, man.
He says finish it up, so finish it up. There you are.
Why you don't care?
Yes, I do care.
Joe always cares.
What I was saying was that they put all this, everything that they're doing to try to. Now I'm aggravated. They
Yeah,
do
but
all
you're also
this
right.
to try to push this towards people that make movies because they want the people that make movies to like them. When a movie comes out, yeah, sure, it's probably a good movie because they put all of this money into it. The chances are you're not going to find it as entertaining as the independent film that people put heart and soul and love into that was made for people that like movies. You
Yes.
know? Nobody is expecting, and whenever a Star Wars movie comes out, nobody's expecting that
Exactly.
to get any kind of Academy Award nominations. It's just literally made because, hey, we have this awesome story we want to tell and show off all these awesome effects and stuff for you, for the viewer, right? And if it gets a nomination, okay, cool, but it's not going to win when it goes up against something like La La Land, which was literally just made for people that make movies. It wasn't made for the audience that watches them. So don't send your work to authors to have authors read it. When Reverend Bob has something new that he wants to show off to me, or to people, he sends it to me, and I read it. He doesn't send it to somebody from Bain. They don't care. They're not going to care. They're going to go, this is garbage. He sends it to people that are going to read this stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. And
Your own point.
and Jeannie, thank you for that comment. Yeah, It's just so big. If I put it up on screen, it would cover up the whole screen. And that sounds like some good ideas, and I will take that into consideration. All right, and William, you're muted. There you go.
Oh, I was letting him finish. I had a
Okay.
little one over here talking to me too.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well,
No,
that hey, the
Skunk
little
makes
one
good
talk,
points.
yeah, and the little one talking to you is more important than talking to us. I'll tell you that right now. I'm always one that says your family first. If something goes
Oh,
on
yeah.
with your family, you take care of them.
yeah, absolutely.
And if you haven't noticed, I've been looking over here to what would be my right down here. I've got a dog that should be going into labor about noon tomorrow. And the puppies have already dropped, so it may be sooner than that.
All right, he wants to make an appearance.
Hey, dude, how you doing?
There's my youngest author.
Nope.
Nope.
She's in the bed.
That's the younger one.
Yep, that's the younger one.
Yeah.
Is over there passed out.
The princess is in
you-
bed right now.
Yeah. So you've already got your kids putting words to. Well, it used to be pen to paper, but what is it? Keystrokes to screen.
Yep.
Electrons to screen. Yes.
Yes, she actually came in second with the original story at her school for their little contest. She's really digging horror, and she's kind of got this Scooby-Doo story going on right now that I'm dying for her to finish, and she hasn't gotten around to it yet. She got burnt out because it started out as a school assignment.
Oh.
She just got tired of it, but it was coming out pretty good. I was waiting for like a Friday the 13th thing to happen or something.
And she actually sent something to Apelian, and my short story editor did not know her age and just read the story on its own merits.
Yes, they did.
And went, "We've got to have this."
Well, let's see. She was 11 at the time, or she had. Yeah, she was 11 when we sent that in, I think.
Yeah. So we've got 2 generations of Roberts in Apelian now.
And I have her listed up on my page. If you look at WilliamJosephRoberts.com, and under the About, I've got a little thing for Kit Roberts, and it links back to her story there on Apelian. It's just a little flash fiction horror story that I was loving.
Oh, it was excellent.
Brain work. I was going to say something. Now I can't think of what the hell it was.
That happens.
Yeah, a lot. Oh my God, the squirrel.
It gets more frequent as you get older. Let me tell you.
Hey, now I did go into a room the other day and remembered why I went. Of course, it was the bathroom, but that's beside the point.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The Corner Scribblers, my little writing group. When I first got into writing, well, I've been into writing since grade school, junior high, and no one was able to help me figure out how to go about the process of writing a story or the process of getting it published. I mean, my English and literature teachers in high school, they're like, they had no clue. Wasn't even willing to help me. So, I spent my time in the military. I jotted things down here and there. Got into playing D&D, so started creating little worlds and game systems and stuff. But still never really sat down and wrote anything. Got back from Okinawa and started jotting things down and actually creating something. And I have to thank my ex-wife, because she knew I'd been jotting all these notes down and getting these ideas, and she bought me a binder. Nice zip up 3-ring binder. Had all these pockets and everything. It's like, okay, cool. And I started keeping, full-blown world notes and characters and gods and goddesses when I started creating my fantasy world. Which recently I was able to recover the original files. So that's going to be coming soon. But went to college and all that, and then got a job up here in the Chattanooga area after that, and just life. So things get put sidetrack. And I'd been working on my original fantasy novel when I was in college. Just I never could figure out how to go about the process of doing it. The business of writing. And then when we got up here, I found out about the Chattanooga Writers Guild. The Chattanooga Writers Guild is a literary group. The majority of their writing groups that have spawned off from it. We got all these different fiction groups and things like that. There's a poetry group and a screenwriters group. They're mostly literary. And the groups that I was in, they kept bleeding on things that I'd come back here to the house and I'd pull Jordan or Lovecraft or whoever off the shelf. I'm like, that's how they did it. Look at that. There's ing and ly and ing and ly. I'm like, they're the hell. And it didn't hit me until years later that it's literary versus pulp. That's the big difference. Because the way you describe and stuff is different. You go through anything that Robert Howard wrote. It was wordy. Lovecraft, it was wordy. And those guys influenced more modern day writers. I'm not sure why we stopped using so many adverbs and adjectives. Honestly like them. They help set the scene better, in my opinion.
English teachers.
I think it's to cut word count. I think that's it. It's the publishers. They want to cut the word count because they cut the word count, they cut the page count. Cut the page count makes it cheaper. That's my thought.
And then it
Especially
breaks
when
down.
you're paying your word by word.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly, I think that's where it is. That's the cause, because the big guys are the ones that drive everything.
Well, they ain't that big no more.
Yeah, right. Indie publishing has taken over like crazy. But while I was part of the writers group or writers guild, I had my own little side sci-fi fantasy group that we were doing the same thing as everybody else. We were doing critiques and, I did this and I did that this month, and we weren't getting anywhere. We were still spinning our wheels. And we had baby number 3, found out that Meg had cancer. So, I dropped the podcast, I dropped the writing group, just everything went on hold. And then Michael Gantz, he told me, I was working over at Industrial Boiler as a design engineer, and he ended up being our QA inspector. So he came in to inspect pressure vessels and things like that. And we got to talking and everything, and he told me about LibertyCon. All the years that I've been here in Chattanooga, nobody in the Writers Guild told me anything about LibertyCon. They knew about it after the fact. I asked them, I was like, did you guys know about this? Yeah, but that's that kind of writing. Like, I hate you right now. Because if I'd have known about LibertyCon so much earlier, things might have been different. But my first year at LibertyCon, it was just eye-opening. The networking I did in that one weekend, the amount of stuff that I learned from all these other writers. I mean, that's where I first met Dan. We went to the Coffee Klatch, and what was it? Me, you, Terry Maggart, I think Rachel. Yeah, Rachel was sitting there talking to Terry, and you can't be a complete introvert and be an author. You have to network. You have to get to know some people, unless you're just that lucky bastard that can hide away and send stuff to the publisher and they publish it for you. Because that is leaps and bounds. What has happened to me is the network. But last year in September, we had Next ChapterCon over here in Ringgold. And a couple of people from my old writing group, they were there, and they're like, hey, when we starting the writing group back up? Like, I really don't want to. I don't want to just do this monthly critique crap and nobody's ever doing anything. And I kept mulling it over and thinking about it. And like, yeah, we could do it, and we could make it something better. Now, if you look up, well, hell, I'll look it up here, and I'll send you the link. Um, so I finally decided, yeah, let's go ahead and start the group back up. But we're not going to be a critique group. We're going to be a self-help group. We're going to help each other create something and help each other to up our game by going through edits together and oh, come on, open, you stupid thing. Going through edits, helping each other to see what we're doing, um, and just help everybody improve their craft. Because, in my opinion, there is no competition. There are so many readers out there that we're fine. We don't have to compete for those readers because they're going to be reading everything anyway. I just send a link right there in the live stream chat
Okay.
for the corner scribblers. So started it up. We started meeting with the goal of producing product. We're going to produce stories. We're going to help each other edit these stories so we can all see what is catching each other's eyes, whether it's grammar, whether it's flow, whether it's technical items. I mean, me personally, I catch flow items. I catch overall story and technical. JD Beckwith, who's in the group, he catches the technical stuff. I mean, he's an engineer by trade. My wife, she catches all those commas, quotation marks, and apostrophes that I miss everywhere.
So is commas good or bad?
Depends on what you're doing. You don't want this god awful long thing that it needs to make sense. Generally, shorter the better, but I mean, a comma is a breath, so you could use a period there. It all depends on how it splices together. If it's another thought or it's a continuation of that thought. But
Yeah, my rule of thumb is you write the way people actually talk.
yeah, and I do. At least that's what I try to do. But no, we all bring a little something else and a little different perspective to the table when it comes to the edits. And we do it on a live document so we can all see what everybody's catching. And I'll go through on that last run and I'll accept or reject all the suggestions that we've set up in there. But the link that I shared to you, we have 5 titles out right now since last September when we formed. No, I'm sorry, 6. We have 4 flash fiction collections plus 2 anthologies we've done already. The Children of the Corner was kind of a throw together for Halloween that we scrambled, put it together, and it turned out to be something awesome. There's some really good stories in that one. But instead of just doing the same crap every month and never doing anything, we're doing something. 1,000-word flash fiction piece from each of us. So that's 10 of us. We put together a little collection, throw it up on Amazon for 99 cents. Well, guess what? Now we can all add that to our list. Makes that author list look a little bit better. Your little author resume. The anthology, that was a little rough. And I actually rejected 2 stories out of the Halloween one because we just didn't have time to edit them properly. And we're stepping up accountability too, because if you submit to anywhere else, you're going to get rejection letters if it's not up to par. So we've been at this already a year with the same people. This is where we need to be now. And we've stepped up the game a little bit to make everybody accountable better. So, if you're out there and you're doing your own writing group thing, do something more productive. Don't just do the same thing over and over and then talk about how you're an author, you're a writer. Prove it. See, or butt in seat, words on paper, do it. That, like NaNoWriMo. It is good and bad at the same time, in my opinion. It's great to get people going and motivated, and they can slate the time, because I know life gets in the way. Life gets busy.
Tell me about it.
But at the same time, it's almost a crutch. They're the hobby writers. They wait till November to write something. They're the hobby writers. Well, if I'm not doing something publishing, I'm always putting words to paper daily. A lot of my time gets taken up with the publishing company now, but I'm still putting words to paper. My first novel, Flux Runners, came out last November. I've got 4 novels now. Well, 3.5, because Chris Woods wrote half of Smuggler's Run, which comes out in January. Wildcat is my 3rd. And I'm working on my next one, which is Dogs of War, which is going to be for the Fallen World universe. If you put yourself to it, you can write a novel in a month to 2 months. Me and Woods wrote Smuggler's Run in pretty much a month. Took a little bit longer on the edits, but putting meat down, we did it in a month. Wildcat actually took me about 2 months overall, and that's with work and life and everything else. So it can be done. Now, I would love to see what I could do if I get to go free range, because then, oh my God.
Okay, what do you mean by free range?
Not having to worry about an office job, not having to go to work.
Ah,
That is my ultimate goal. It is. I've always wanted to be an author. I've always loved the creation process. I can so get lost in world creation, but that to me is the ultimate win. I mean, it's something I absolutely love, and to be able to create a career out of that's where I want to be. And on top of it, I'm actually enjoying the publishing thing, because I'm helping others get their stuff out there. Dan, would you have ever put Abducted anywhere?
No one would have bought it. It's not one of those things that fits into a category.
Right. Well, okay, Charity Ayers. We have her Loki and we have her Madcap. Now, if you want a fun adventure story, Madcap is good.
And her Loki stuff is just as good.
Oh, yeah,
just a different direction.
Dude, did you listen to the audio? Oh.
No, I haven't. I can't. I've got too much shit going on. I've got too many irons in the fire to sit and listen to an audio.
If you ever listen to any of the Janet Ivanovich, Stephanie Plum series, the narrator we ended up getting for Loki, she's got that same kind of sassy snark to her. I love it. But Charity, it's hard to lock her down, because she's fantasy, she's paranormal, she's urban fantasy, adventure. Her Madcap, it's steampunk, it's pirate, it's sci-fi, and there's romance in it. So it's like, where do you actually categorize it?
Yeah, really. No mainstream publisher could tie that down, because they don't have enough hashtags to be able to throw it into something and go, oh, well, this is this.
Right. And, I call bullshit. I seriously call bullshit, because a good story is a good story, period. And like I said, I love action adventure. I want more of that out there. And the stuff that I read that I actually enjoy, well, guess what? I'm going to try to publish it. So if you've got something, send it to Three Ravens. Pretty much the only thing that we're not accepting is smut. But we have an affiliate that I will forward things to if you do have smut, and they'll take care of it. Which that's Tanglewood Press. But there's, I don't know why the big big guys lock down into certain areas and they ignore others. Bane is probably the most flexible out of all of them. I mean, what was it that you Gunsmoke and Embers? Wasn't that the one with Ringo Smith and Casey Zell? And that's a weird Wild West thing. But I mean, Tor is pretty much just strictly fantasy, high fantasy, all that. You got Ace and Penguin and Rock. I don't know. They're more YA and
Yeah.
general sci-fi and stuff. Bane does hardcore sci-fi with David Weber's stuff.
Who would be the big one for? I hate to call it paranormal romance, but paranormal is the biggest element.
Honestly, I think Falstaff, because I can't think of any of the major ones. I mean, it's not my normal to read, but I would say Falstaff would probably be one of the top ones that does paranormal.
Okay, now we normally run our authors when we have an author guest in. We give them an hour, and believe it or not, you just about knocked out an hour. So we're into like the last 5 to 8 minutes of that hour. So this is where you shine. This is where I'm your power strip. Plug it away.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. You can pretty much find me on any internet platform. I am on Facebook, Twitter. Crap, what's the new one?
Parlor.
Instagram.
I'm on Instagram, Parlor, Pinterest, MeWe, Tumblr. Yeah, pretty much everywhere. Or look up Three Ravens Publishing. I got them all over the place too. Main websites are WilliamJosephRoberts.com or ThreeRavensPublishing.com. If you need help with figuring out what to do, shoot me a message. I got no problem with helping somebody take a step up. I've also got the Squirrel's Nest, which is my little group on Facebook that's just kind of running it for like writing fodder. Any authors are allowed to toss in their plugs, with new books and all, as long as you don't just take over everything with it. But I try to keep it to where it's things that help inspire ideas. Give other authors an idea of something. Yeah, look for me on Amazon, and then check out the Corner Scribblers, because hey, anybody puts reviews up for the Corner Scribbler stuff, the group would just shit themselves. They're like, every time we get a little review popped up.
All right, and this is where we roll the show into what we really base around is we call it, the show is aptly titled Stupid O'Clock. And the way we describe it is, after all the programming shut down at the cons and everybody's hanging out at the lobby or at the bar, people wander up, talk for a few minutes, walk away, and you never know where the conversation is going, and that's what we're doing. Do you want to hang around for that craziness?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He would fit right in, believe me. I remember the first LibertyCon that I met William, and it's like, I think we met in the bar first, but you might have been sitting in on a panel I was on, or maybe a couple of panels I was on, and it's like, you walked up and your eyes were glowing like you just discovered the secrets of the universe.
Oh, because think about it, man. I couldn't figure out how to do it. And LibertyCon, dude, man, if you ever get the chance, go to LibertyCon.
Yeah. And, there is also a couple others in the area.
Yeah, go to Helicon.
Well, I wasn't going there yet. I was going to plug, Chattacon, which is a good literary type convention to where a lot of authors show up, and then and then of course Halicon, we limit our authors to like 5 or 6 authors, and we spotlight the weekend around them, which is, you know, that way you have a better chance to sell more books that way.
Right. Well, let's see what else. We got Chattacon, Chattanooga. Well, there's Next Chapter Con.
Yeah, next chapter.
September, and that's new. And then Metrotham. That's one of the new ones here in Chattanooga.
Yeah, Metrotham. I am so glad Kenyon kicked off Next Chapter Con. Mainly for the simple reason is I run Halicon. I do Northwest Georgia Comic and Toy Expo, then Northwest Georgia Cosplay Yard Sale, and I was actually looking at starting an authors only convention. In a little small room.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kenyon did. And then he came up with that, and I said, I walked up and I said, "Thank you so much for doing this." He goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because I was actually thinking of doing it. I'm letting you have full run of it. Go with it." Yeah. And of course, now they've also expanded, and they're now down at the Dalton Trade Center.
Yep.
Next year.
The first one, even though it was so small, it was over here at the little Ringgold. Crap, what is it called? The
Colonnade.
Yeah, the Colonnade.
Yeah.
It was still good. A lot of people Fritz and Chris Woods was there, and the Osborns were there, so a lot of friendly faces.
Yeah, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Hope.
Taylor and Carol.
Yeah.
But it was a good little convention. We had fun, and if it wasn't for COVID, I would have been there this year.
Yeah.
We have a cancer patient in the house. My brother-in-law, he just finished his 3rd round of chemo, so we've been staying inside.
Yeah.
If things are better, then I'll be at Fantasy in March, so that'll be the first one that I can get to that's open, and I'm hoping Liberty opens up.
Yeah. Yeah. JD Beckwith says COVID screwed it this year, but last year was awesome. Okay, Skunk's got something to interject.
Yeah, there is no Fantasy Con.
No, there is a Fantasy.
Yeah, Fantasy is going to be happening in March. It got canceled this past year.
Yeah, it's in Virginia.
No, Raleigh.
Or Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah.
That's pretty much the Chris Kennedy show's home base.
Yeah.
It's going to be their home convention. And last year, this past March was supposed to be the 2nd convention.
Yeah.
But it got canceled and everything rolled over to this coming year for 2021.
Yeah.
How are they spelling that?
Same way, just no con at the end. It's just Fantasy.
Yeah. Was it Jeff Lyons, I think, is the one running it?
Yeah. See, Halicon used to be paired with another convention called FantasyCon or FantasyCon.
Okay.
That was run.
I guess that's Fantasticon.
Yeah. And that was run by Dutch. I don't know if you remember Dutch or not. The grumpy old guy that used to run Halicon.
No, I've never been to Halicon yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to.
Well, this year was going to be my first one to be at, but everything else happened.
Yeah. Well, I promise you, William, if you show up, you will not go hungry. I will pay for your food all weekend. And
once we get back to cons, guaranteed I'll be there.
And Heather and Skunk will attest to you. You will not go hungry, and it ain't crappy con food either.
You think feast? It's a feast.
Yeah, when I say feast, I'm talking 2 meats, 4 veggies, a salad, and a piece of cake.
Oh, damn. Hell, I'll have to bring some mead for the bar, too.
I will not argue with you. You can bring all you want.
I make some good. Dan knows. He's had my honey mead.
Yeah.
I had, what was it? I had 5 5 gallons of mead, no, there's like 10 gallons of mead and like 2 or 3 gallons of strawberry wine at the last LibertyCon. Man, it didn't last. It went real quick.
One room party, that's all. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
And now, I've got to warn you, if Joe Dog walks up to you with a test tube of something,
take it, but gently.
and make sure you've got the hangover cure beforehand.
Sniff
No.
it first.
Oh.
No, don't tell my secret, Dan. Don't tell my secret.
That reminds me, I've still got Thursdays I ain't took yet.
Yeah. No, I have found the hangover cure for conventions.
Which is?
And it actually works.
It's a little bottle. You can find them at the Dollar Tree, believe it or not. It's Stacker's B12.
Okay.
And every Sunday morning, I'd come bebopping down. Hey, how's everybody doing? The night before, I was ripped. And they're like, you're still drunk. No, I'm sober. And they're like, how?
I'm one of those lucky bastards. I've never had a hangover.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
Skunk. Yeah, go ahead, Skunk.
I'm looking over this website,
Yeah.
this Fantasy that I've never
Yeah.
heard of. And I was curious how long they were running, but I couldn't find any information on that.
No,
However,
this past March was supposed to be their second year.
So they haven't been running that long. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just curious about that because I remember we ran Fantasy for like 11 years. But
Yeah.
here's the thing that threw me off. I'm going through the website. Well, I was just trying to figure out what I was doing on it.
He's holding a skunk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I never posed for that picture. I don't know how that happened. I think there's some Photoshoppery going on there.
He doesn't look like your type.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that guy is. He seems familiar though. I've probably met him before. I was
He
going through
does.
the list of the guests and I was sitting there just being all like, I've met him, met her, met him. Like it's a lot of Chattanooga classic guests for
That was cool.
Chatacon, Halicon, Fantasy.
Yeah.
So they've a lot of them have been here before.
Yeah.
That was
especially for
Chris
Liberty.
Woods, who is the creator of the Fallen World series, which is where Wildcat set, and he's got the Soul Guard series too.
So he's somebody who goes to Liberty.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I met him.
Yeah.
That's where that picture was taken.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But now I was
Yeah.
like their guest of honor for, I don't know if it was their 21 guest of honor or if it was their 2020 guest of honor, and it just happens to also be their 20. I have no idea. Their website's very weird right now because they're making announcements for the upcoming year, but they haven't updated the website fully because of COVID and stuff.
Far as I know, they're rolling up. They had Weber, Dave Butler, Larry Correa, and Chuck Gannon as their guests for last year. And as far as I know, they're all four rolling over to this coming year.
Okay, that's probably what the confusion with my looking at it was, because they basically didn't update the guest list. It still says 2020, but they're acting like it's the 2021 guest.
Yeah, they
Larry
just rolled
is
everything over.
Yeah, Larry's the guest of honor. So
Yeah.
Good times.
Now, what Joe Dog was talking about, Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. Now he swears.
God, I haven't seen that in forever.
I've never seen it in blue.
There
Normally
are.
you get it in
there are-
pomegranate flavor.
Yep, that's the red one. That's the one that Joe swears by.
I can see that says blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry, and that one
Oh,
I
no.
just emptied. And then there
Yeah.
is. Oh,
Is there another color?
Grape.
Purple.
Purple. Yep.
I've never seen those. I've seen the
Red.
red ones. I bought the red ones, but
Red, blue, and purple. And you have to get the ones that say B12 because that is the medicine right there. It is an intense dose of B12. Now the other ones are the say 5 hour energy drink. They do not do the hangover, but
yeah,
if it says B12, you on the money.
yeah, the B12 10,000% PP. That's the one that you need. If you get just like regular energy, 5 hour, 6 hour energy shot, even if it's made by Stacker too, that's mostly caffeine.
Yep.
If you want the hangover cure, you get the B12.
Yep.
Which does not contain as much caffeine. It's more the B12.
I don't think it has any caffeine.
Might
Does
not.
No, it doesn't.
Dan?
It doesn't. Not a
That's
bit.
that's what
And,
helps it work so well.
Yeah. It's the B12 that's the most important. And like I said, Joe swears by the red ones. And they are good and they are tasty. But you get tired of the same flavor over and over again. And so I'm glad I found the three. Matter of fact, this is a dead soldier. The blue raspberry.
Yeah. I've actually got a friend who had to go to his doctor to get B12 shots because his body was having a B12 deficiency. And it was like a $40 copay, then, the shot and all that. And ends up, that shot once a week was, $80 by the time everything was all said and done. I told him about those. He started taking those. He don't even have to go to the doctor anymore.
Oh yeah.
Pops one of those a day, and he's saving, a couple thousand a year.
You go to a Dollar General store, they're $1. They're $1 a piece.
Yeah.
They're at Kroger, they're at Ingles, they're at gas stations, they're at Dollar General. You just have to look for the great big huge B12.
Yep.
And it don't matter the flavor. Well, I mean, I don't find that it matters the flavor, but
well, the flavor. See, where I normally get it, they don't have the flavors. So,
well, Dollar General's got all three of them.
Yeah. And if you look them up on Amazon, they come in a pack of 12. Pack of 12's like $15 to $25 on Amazon.
Yeah, really. Go to Dollar General, $1 a piece.
Yep.
I think they're
gas.
I think they're $1.99 at Ingles. Don't remember what Kroger charges. Probably the same as Ingles.
So, what all conventions do you go to, William?
So far, it's been LibertyCon. I went to Chattacon this past year, and crap, what was that one?
You went to Anachricon a couple of times, yeah. May it rest in peace. I actually heard a rumor that it may come back.
There's a possibility that it may come back, but it will be moved north. It will be north of us, about the same distance north of us.
North of Chattanooga?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
sort of northwest.
What you talking about? Nashville?
Yeah. Of course, they were in negotiations for name and website and all that right before craziness hit.
Yeah. Captain Bill is running Atlanta Steampunk Expo, which is
Yeah.
basically the same people that would go to an Acrocon,
Yeah,
but not the same staff.
yeah. And they're taking that weekend.
Hmm.
Of course, I'm willing to lay money that they're going to have to push back.
Well, I'm not going to be able to go. I mean, it's still, we've got almost 50 people at the factory that have tested positive now.
Yeah,
So I'm being real serious with the mask stuff.
yeah. I don't blame you.
I've got a whole stack of bandanas here, which for a bearded person is the
The
best
way to go.
the best compromise. It is not only cooler, but it's longer and it fits over your mask, and you can put it up and fit your safety glasses on top of it so they don't fog up. All you got to do is come home and throw the damn thing in the wash
Yeah,
and grab a fresh one from the week before. And since I have done cowboy for so many years, I've got
got
something
tons
on
of them.
the. Oh man, I've got something on the order of 30 or 40 bandanas. So I could wear a different one every day and nobody would notice except they're the same 5 colors.
Back up to
You got
13.
Hey.
Yeah.
you got a different bandana for every day. Every day, that way they know you're not wearing the same one over and over.
I don't care what they think. All I care about is I don't bring nothing home to mama.
Yeah,
And my mother is in her 80s now, and she's survived a lot of shit, and I want to make sure she survives a lot more.
I am so glad I have reached retirement. William, I
20,
sort of took.
What?
I sort of
2024. That's my
yeah.
deadline.
I took a government retirement after 30 years. I got my rule of 80. They're paying me for the rest of my life. And it's enough to where I don't have to go out anymore. You know, it buys groceries, it pays the house rent, and it keeps the lights and water on, and the internet. Thank God for the internet. You're here in Chattanooga, or are you down in Ringgold?
Chickamauga.
wasn't it?
Oh, Chickamauga. Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, I can't brag then. I'm sorry.
Damn, I do say that like a Yankee, don't I? Well, I ain't one.
I mean,
I just double checked on Amazon and we are back up to 13 now.
cool. Hopefully, it's because of you being on this show.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Hey, we can claim it is, even if it ain't.
Yep.
We don't need no stinking facts.
William, I got a couple friends that do a lot of well, a lot of friends. I've got one friend that does a promotional show
Mhm.
for authors and all that. I'm gonna send him your name. Of course, he watches the show in replay. So attention, Brian K. Morris. Attention, Brian K. Morris. This is a good guest for the show. Clever Title Pending. Okay. He does a show called Clever Title Pending, where he spotlights authors and publishing groups, and Clever Title Pending is his company is called Rising Tide Publications,
Okay.
which Rising Tide raises all ships, and that's what he does. Is he helps promote. I mean, every time I comment on his morning show, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. on Brian K. Morris and Rising Tide Publications page and YouTube. Every time he sees me, he plugs Stupid O'Clock. So I'm going to plug his shows while I'm telling you about him. So those are, of course, you're still working, right? Are you still fighting the time clock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
One day.
One day.
Yep. I actually have a day where the time clock becomes irrelevant, which is not an elephant that needs medication.
Yeah.
Joe Dog hates me because every time I come up with a good pun, he doesn't have a rim shot handy.
No, I like that one. That one was good.
But
Oh dear God.
let's see.
What happened?
I'm getting feedback from a reader in they posted in the CKP factory floor. Wow, it's extensive.
They're
got
not
a big
telling
one?
They didn't copy and paste the book, did they?
No. Here, I'm gonna copy it over just to.
I think the private chat will only let you go 200 characters.
Well, I'll put it in the main line here. See if it'll post. Hey, look at that! It did.
Walk on the wild side.
I haven't finished reading it yet, but let's see what this is.
All right, I'll post that up. Of course, Heather, you're about to get covered up. Well, the bottom row.
Go.
I was gonna say, why me?
Well, you as big as it is, I figured it. Oh, that's right. I got it on small because of had I done the other brand, the large one, yeah, that would have covered the whole screen. But yeah, cool. Oh, but actually, one of the things that really got this show started was back at Chattacon, which was just about the last convention. No, Anacrocon. It was Chattacon, then Anacrocon was the last two conventions I did. Me and John got to talking, and we got to talking about how big of a bulldozer would you have to move stuff on the moon? Was the conversation. How long did that one last? 30, 45 minutes?
Which one? We've had that conversation a couple times.
Well, at Chattacon.
Didn't you finally decide it wasn't the size of the blade, it was the mass of the machine to dig into the dirt?
Yeah.
Because it depends on soil compaction and basically how much ash your bulldozer has so they can cut the dirt.
Yeah. And since we came up with the idea, we take a good sized dozer up there and then actually load it down with material from the moon.
The Army has a version of that called the M9 Ace, the Armored Combat Earth Mover. When it's empty, it can do 45 miles an hour on a highway. But once it gets to where it's going, it's got a big bucket in the front, and it'll scoop up that bucket full of dirt to add weight to it so that it can dig better. It also adds as a shock. It also acts as a shock absorber, so that if it hits a landmine, the hydraulic blade absorbs the landmine blast, but the dirt protects the cab and everything at the rear of the vehicle.
So it's basically a bolo.
Something, yeah.
Well, it doesn't have megaton per second firepower, but it's
Not
a
yet.
tank with a scraper blade.
Well, it's not really a tank. I mean, it doesn't have guns or anything, but it is an armored chassis.
I'm sorry, but Keith Lummer is one of my writing gurus, and that is why most of my stories turn out to be adventures rather than a category, a genre. You can blend all kind of genres while still having it be an adventure.
Oh, easy. It just depends on how you set it up.
Oh, have you got anything else planned for Widowmakers?
Um, well, I kind of have to now at this point since we're taking over the JTF universe. I'm going to do Widowmakers 2 probably toward the end of next year.
I can't wait.
I've got an
That
idea.
is one of my favorites.
I've got an idea of where I want to take them. I'm just not absolutely sure. And yeah, I originally thought about going into the Pacific Theater because Widowmakers, it takes place like 3 weeks
Europe.
after the Normandy landing. You know, we're sitting there in France, and the characters at a forward air base when they get run over or overrun by gremlins. I thought about following up and having them go on to the Pacific Theater, but it's like there's a lot of time frame between the Normandy landing and the victory in Europe. So I could play in Europe a little bit longer and then eventually move them over to the Pacific because that's what happened. A lot of the guys were taken straight from Europe and shipped straight to the Pacific. It's like, okay, we're done here. We need you over there.
Yep.
So I might do that and play in Europe a little bit longer just because I've always loved World War II in the European theater. Just a lot of the stories, and well, I've had both of my grandfathers served in the Army during World War II. One was a B-17 tail gunner, and the other was a heavy machine gunner who landed at Normandy. He ended up in a POW camp and had the shit beat out of him. And he was one of those lucky to come back alive.
Yep. Lindsay's dad was a British para and was airdropped inside. I think it was a Hamilcar tank.
Oh, dear God!
Towed by a glider, and they had, after they hit the ground, they had to jump out and cut the parachute lines away from the treads so they could move the tank. And it's a little bitty 3-man tank.
Yeah.
And I mean, can you imagine being dropped with parachutes inside a tank?
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
Well, apparently he had a good time. And then, oh God, I think it was his second tank after that. They got a new one somehow, and it got shot the shit up by a Panzer, and he was captured by an American unit. And because the British paras, his division, were dressed in black uniforms, the Americans thought he was a Panzer troop, and they almost shot him. Instead of taking him prisoner, he started cussing a blue streak in this South English, just absolutely gentle accent, and demanding a cigarette and a cup of tea. And they finally got the message that he was not German. And I mean, he walked out of a burning tank. His uniform is on fire. He had 3rd-degree burns over about 10-12% of his body. And he's just standing there with smoldering clothes going, has anybody got a cigarette? And I'd kill for a cup of. We've got his reminiscences from the war. Lindsay has tried to type these up, but she keeps getting so emotional because it's her dad. I mean, seriously, if he hadn't survived, she'd have never been born. And the man became a curate, Church of England. He was an accountant for Shell Oil in South America. Then became a man of the cloth. The family moved back from Venezuela to England. Um, Lindsay and her next oldest brother uh, had to learn English as a second language.
Really?
Yeah, they had grown up with a Venezuelan nanny. Their two older brothers had been shipped off to boarding schools in England regularly. Her immediately oldest brother uh, followed suit, and then the family moved, and she shows up in school speaking Spanish and having to learn how to speak English because the family only spoke Spanish in Venezuela. Weird as, I mean, if I was to write all this stuff down, nobody would believe it. It's worse than my autobiography.
Pretty much, she doesn't have a English accent. She's got her English accent has a Spanish accent.
No. Her Spanish accent has an English accent.
Okay.
And no, she is the penultimate Southern girl. South America, Southern England, South East and Southwest United States.
So, yeah, that would. And I guess they make fun of her when she talks to everybody at home because she has such an American accent.
Oh no! When she gets on the phone, her accent goes all posh. I mean, it is. Well, it depends on who she's talking to. While her dad was still alive, she went all posh when she was talking to her dad. When she was talking to one of her school chums, it went kind of the British version of Southern gang slang. And yeah, it's still beautiful to listen to. But,
yeah. The British accent is the only accent somebody can cuss you up one side and down the other and make you feel good about it.
Oh, yeah. Makes you feel like, oh, wow. They noticed I exist.
You want to thank them after it's done. Like, what happened? Oh.
Well, Lindsay, Skunk knows Lindsay. I mean, good grief. When that voice gets going, you don't care what she's saying. You just want to listen, even if she's mad at you.
Just keep talking.
Yeah, really. I don't care what you're saying, honey. You sound so good.
Oh.
How you doing, John? You look like you're recovering from a bout of dysentery or something.
Well, not bad. Just tired.
Well, I'm glad that's the worst.
We've had a series of brush fires around the house here lately.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
I don't know if it's people burning trash and just forgot that we haven't had any rain in 2 weeks or what, but all day I've been hearing fire trucks running back and forth.
Mm.
I went out there, looked out, and like half the sky was smoke. I was like, wow.
Ooh.
So I went in to get a camera, and the time it took me to go back, get the camera, put some batteries in it, run back outside, gone.
Oh, I stopped for gas at an Ingalls gas station, and there was just huge clouds of smoke going up from a housing development across the road, and I'm going, what the? There's no fire trucks. What? Somebody's burning leaves, aren't they? And we've had enough rain to where that's safe. But it still was very disturbing to not be able to see more than 20 feet ahead of the car when I was trying to leave the gas station.
Well, it was about 4 years ago up here. We had forest fire or brush fires so bad they called in the airplanes.
Mm.
The Signal Mountain, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, Elder Mountain, which is just the north end of Signal Mountain. But yeah, I mean, and I was on the direct flight path of incoming and outgoing. I mean, you could almost set your watch by which one flew over the house.
Mm.
I mean, it was regular.
I was in Florida at one time when they had to close the interstate because of grass fires and
Yeah.
whatnot. I mean, we're sitting there. I'm like loading up the car to come home, and there's ash floating down into the swimming pool at the apartment complex,
Mm.
and I'm going, what the?
That
Maybe
was that was probably June about 10 years ago.
no, it would have been about 17 years ago.
Okay. Because I remember they were so bad there one year that it actually canceled. They actually, well, they didn't cancel, they postponed the Daytona race because they were using the speedway as a staging area for the firefighters because
Well,
they had so many coming in from out of state. That was the only place centrally located that could fit everybody.
this was down near Ocala.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that was, but
I
yeah, that was,
75 was shut down. It was
yeah.
on fire.
Oh. All right, Skunk, it's time for your favorite little toy.
This was
Or is he, are you looking for it or?
Oh, no, I thought you were going to play it.
I, I thought you was going to play it. All right, which means we're getting close to wrapping everything up. William,
6 minutes.
Yeah, this is where it takes us 6 minutes to close the show. We do another show just after this on actually my page. Right now, we're broadcasting to 4 different pages. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's just broadcast on my page.
So there are no rules.
Well, yeah, there's some rules, but we try to, but they just get thrown out the window. If you want to join us on there, I can shoot you the link real quick, or you can wrap it up and plug everything out that you one more time for what you do and all that.
No, I'll roll with you.
Okay. All right, but yeah, go ahead and plug up your stuff so so everybody can get
So
one more show.
YouTube still has it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it comes up on YouTube.
Oh, hey, that's something else I've got. I got a YouTube for Three Ravens and for mine. William Joseph Roberts. You can find my stuff at williamjosephroberts.com or threeravenspublishing.com. Was it? I have 3 official novels out, and I'm in a bunch of anthology stuff like that. Check out my Amazon page. Let's see, Flux Runners, Widowmakers, Wildcat, which were just released yesterday. Smuggler's Run, which is co-authored with Christopher Woods, coming out in January, and so much more coming next year.
Okay, cool. Where did Dan run? Okay. All right. I just popped back in. I was getting everything set up. I sent you the link.
Okay.
Pretty much when you leave here, click leave studio. And then, after we run our closing, our closer. We have an outro which you will probably enjoy.
Okay.
Uh, you do know what the F-104 is, don't you?
Oh yeah.
It's a video of an F-104.
He will
Something.
definitely enjoy this. Yes,
Uh,
I was trying to go to the link for the after show. So
oh,
I
okay.
will be right back.
All right. So yeah. Uh, Now let's sort of take a real round table quick bet. What'll be the first show in Chattanooga?
Liberty.
You think Liberty?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talking about live or just
In person.
Liberty? I think.
You think we got that much more to go?
Well, I already know Chattacon's doing virtual.
Yeah.
They've already planned that.
Yeah.
Haven't heard anything on Connooga. And Metrotham was going to be slated for May. Then they got
Yeah.
moved to October. Now I'm not sure where they're slated to.
Back to May.
Okay. So I hadn't heard anything on that. I don't know.
Oh, and by the way, go to Halicon online and check out the playlist. I've got all our panels for the virtual show. If you want to check out some of them, and definitely check out the Not Quite Dark Place.
Okay.
We did a table reading of a Twilight Zone episode. Which is, something different.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with some of those old stories either.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're still as good today as they were then.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, it was good writing. What else? But do check out some of those panels that I've got. Go watch the playlist. Don't watch the thing, because we ran 49 hours straight. When we didn't have live programming, we ran horrible public domain horror movies. So there was always something live on our channel.
Right. But some of those old movies are still good.
Oh yeah. And but yeah, I would like some feedback from somebody outside our group of how we actually, the production value and how it looked. Because that's, I did something a little different with our show. The way we did our panels. And with that, we have reached the end. For everybody here watching, hang around. The notification will pop up if you're on my friends list on Facebook for the Stupid After Show. And with that, say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up, the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.